Facebook? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Shonda's in Louisiana.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
Louisiana. How's the weather there? Is it pretty stable?
No, it's warm today.
Okay.
We went from 35 degrees this morning to like 60.
Oh,
wow.
I think we're probably pretty similar too.
Not us.
Taiji, you're still in Chicago, right?
Yes, ma'am. Chicago in to Chicago ends.
Okay.
Yep. I've thought about moving out, but every time I do it just I end up coming back. So.
Yeah, that's home.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Got it. So.
Okay, we'll be starting in just a minute. Just going to give a few folks enough time to join us. So just hold on.
Yes, ma'am. Drink my tea.
Yeah. I have my tea too.
Taiji, I haven't seen you in years, but you have not aged at all.
Thank you. That's hey, you know what? To be honest with you, that's because, like I said, when you tested my blood type that day, and I started eating according to that type, I fell off a little bit, but for the most part, I haven't been sick at all.
Yeah. Are you still vegetarian?
No, I didn't have no fish here and there.
So, yeah. But you pretty much stick to the blood type diet. Yeah. Good for you. Well, you have not aged at all.
I just started growing gray hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just started growing gray hair.
Yeah. Dr. Africa says we gray as a result of not having enough nutrition.
Really?
Okay, guys, it's 7:05. We're going to get started. I know we love our conversations here, but thank you everyone for joining us. Welcome to day number 4 of Ignite Your Soul Connection. We have had an amazing week so far. We started off on Monday talking about Life Expressed with Kiana and Sarah 10. And then we moved into Monday and we spoke with Tanisha and Martin about finding your flow. And on Tuesday, we had 3 powerful sister queens talking to us about feeling it all. And you notice we're moving into a cycle because tonight we're going to be talking about the soul of nurturing. Now, let me introduce myself before we get into that conversation. My name is Rita Musham Stewart. I am the owner of Master Force and the founder of Master Force International Leadership Academy. We have been certifying life coaches now for 10 years. And this is our 10-year anniversary of Ignite Your Soul Connection. Yes. That's an applause. And it's exciting to say that for every year we have did at least 1 or 2 Ignite Your Soul. So you can go back and find those on our channel, our YouTube channel by the same name. And, it's just a lot of knowledge there and the generosity of the coaches and the speakers. We are committed that our people in our community are inundated with information to help them grow their spiritual alchemy. We say at Master Force that we are coaching for the soul. We're not here to help you with your ego, your schedule, your time. We want to get to the depth of your life purpose and who and what you're here to serve. Because right now, all hands need to be on deck. right? All
Yes.
hands must be on deck. So tonight's conversation, we're speaking with our Dr. Tammye. I'm going to let you start, but Dr. Tammye, and Taiji, the reason Dr. Tammye is starting is because she is from the first class. Do you remember that, Dr. Tammye?
I do. Oh my God. I can't believe it's been 10 years.
Yes.
Mm.
So can you go ahead, introduce yourself, tell people about yourself, and give them an idea of who you are?
Absolutely. So I am Dr. Tammye Mathews. I am a registered naturopathic doctor as well as an executive life coach. Master Force Academy. Gosh, it was 2010. That was the year, right? That was the year. And I never looked back. My life had changed. I started Restored by Tammye as a result of having some personal illnesses and challenges and being sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I met Mushin Su and we joined forces and I was able to bring my business to life as a result of the tools and things that I learned and how to help people to heal themselves, not just from a physical perspective, but also a spiritual and mental perspective. So Restored by Tammye is the name of my company, established in 2010. That was an amazing year for everything. That's when my life changed. And gosh, we're going into 12 years. 12 is the number of
2022, that's right.
2022. And I'm in expectation of some amazing things. So
yes, wonderful. And thank you so much, Tammye. One of the things that I love saying about you is that you have introduced at least 12 other people to this program. So you are responsible for at least 12 other Master Force coaches who have been, introduced to this work and become certified. So, and you've always been one of those people to say, okay, Mo, what you doing? I'm here. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And it's just a joy to always be with you. So thank you for being here tonight.
thank you for inviting me.
So now we want to talk to our young master genius, Taiji. Taiji.
Yeah.
Wish I had one of those brews right here, but okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of late on, but my name is Taiji Thompson. I've been with Master Force since 2016. So I'm fairly new, but not new. And I can say that it has changed me like so much. To be honest with you, I had a conversation with Tammye earlier, and I was explaining to her that I didn't think I was the coach material, or I didn't think that I could do this. But all the time that I was talking to people, I talked to people a lot and didn't realize it. So what Master Force did, it kind of helped me out with information, and information that I've gained since I've been with this with the organization has been great. It's been awesome. So I am a home brewer. I'm trying to get me a brewery, a place to brew, so I can a business. So I do have a business. My name is it's called Tibbs 555 Brewing Company. So you can reach me at Tibbs 555 Brew Pub at Gmail, and and take it from there. But since, like I said, since I've been with Master Force, it's been great, man. I'm so appreciative to be around so many people, intelligent people, and the conversation has been awesome. So that's who I am.
Well, it's so interesting because now that I am back in Chicago, we need to have some of those Master Force taste sessions.
You know what? It's coming. It's coming, Moo. I'm doing bigger things now, so it's coming. It's coming.
Okay, very cool.
Love it.
Right.
Mhm.
So now what I would like to do is get into this conversation by starting out with a question for both of you. What do we mean by the soul of nurturing? And it don't have to be something that I agree with. I would like to know from you, what do we mean? What do you mean when we look at the conversation called the soul of nurturing? Who wants to go first?
Ocean Soup, can I kick it off? Taiji, is it
Yes,
okay?
go
if I
right
kick
on
it
ahead.
off with my-
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a little reading I like to share about the soul. And this
Mhm.
resonates so with me. It says, your soul is requiring you to heal deeper, to elevate past the hurt, to transcend beyond what happened, to let go of what and who no longer serves you, to protect your energy daily, to get the lesson, to master your thoughts and emotions, to forgive yourself, to love yourself unconditionally, and
Mhm.
to honor your body temple, all in order to thrive and vibrate higher daily. So I attracted that and I said, oh, that just did something to my soul.
Yeah.
And that's a lot there. I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
So
that's
nourishing the soul for me is about tapping into what it is that you need to be able to feel that energy. Hopefully you all felt as I was reading that small paragraph where there's you feel this energy, you feel this vibration, you feel almost like you just elevated just because of
Mhm.
just hearing that about the soul. So nourishing it is providing it with whatever it needs in order for it to just flourish.
okay.
Mhm.
I can feel all of that. Taji, what would you add?
I would add, first you have to cherish and feed it,
Mm,
right?
mhm,
And with mindfulness, positive thinking,
mhm,
and intense self-care,
mhm.
Mm.
right? A lot of times we forget about that self-care as we're talking about that further along, but we forget about how to do that. And
Mhm.
nourishing your soul means to know yourself deeply and give yourself unconditional love, which I had to learn the hard way. I didn't know
Yeah.
how to love myself.
Oh my goodness. Say more about that. That's good. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm a giver, right? You give, and oftentimes you forget about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look in the mirror, a lot of times we forget. We look in the mirror and we just see this image, this shell that we're in, but we don't see ourselves. Ourselves is your soul, your spirit. We don't look at that. We look at just what's in the image. So you're looking at, okay, I'm ugly, I'm dark skinned, I don't have any hair, I'm bald head. You know, I didn't learn to accept myself. So now I accept myself. And I'm looking like, okay, I'm bald head, put some grease on it, shine it up a little bit, I ain't got no hair, but this is it right here. So let me line this up real good. It's the only hair I got.
So,
So
so you, so seriously, there was a time that you looked in the mirror and thought yourself to be ugly.
I did. I
Wow.
did.
And it
I
was,
did.
and it was because of your skin color mainly?
It was because when I was younger, I remember it being my skin color. But then as I got older, I started loving my skin color because I realized what it meant to be this dark.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I started losing my hair. I'm like, man, so I would wear hats all the time. So yeah, I didn't see myself as being handsome or nice or none of that. So I didn't love myself. I was giving everybody love. I would tell my daughter and my son, oh man, you good, you beautiful, beautiful little girl. Tell her love all the time. I tell my son, oh man, you handsome, man. You a big boy, you handsome. So what? So I would nurture this everybody else, but not myself.
Mhm.
Not myself. So I would escape. So I thought clothes or shoes would make me better or make me more handsome to people or and I still had that mentality. Now it's like, okay, it's whatever. I learned to love myself.
Yes. And unconditionally, because it is, I love how you said this is a shell. You know,
Mhm.
inside here is my soul, my spirit. That's far more valuable, far more important than the shell. But the shell we have to take care of in order for the soul and the spirit to actually thrive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's
Yep.
good.
That's true.
Tammye, did you hear something in that? Did you hear something in that?
Yes, Taiji just reminded me, sparked the memory of when I recognized what my soul really was about. And it, for me, it took me to become physically ill and not be able to get the answers needed in order to feel better.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so after trying everything, going out and trying to do everything to feel better, I was forced to learn how to hear my soul and listen to my soul. And when I say force, it was just a matter of, so because Taji and I was talking about this, it was so yang, 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 yang.
Mhm.
You know, I had to force myself to sit down. Yang is like, sit down and be quiet,
Mhm.
you know, pull out of the matrix,
Right.
pay attention to that small voice that you keep, you know, just doing too much and not allowing it to speak what it needs, my soul, because I was too
Mhm.
busy going, hard, 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 yang, 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 you
Mhm.
know? So yeah, so I did go through those stages. I went through many stages, but it really took me to become physically ill to sit down and really know and understand that my soul was starving and needed nourishment.
Yeah, it's really interesting how the universe really uses illness as a initiation into our spiritual expansion.
Mhm.
You know, because when we can't find those answers out there or the answers that are suitable for us, you know, because some people find the answers and then they have to give up everything. You
Mhm.
know, you go
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
the answer. Take this, take this, take this, and now you hooked for life,
That's right.
Mhm.
right? As compared to saying, let me see what's really going on.
Mhm.
So when you look at that, why would you say that nurturing is an important part of our spiritual expansion?
Well, because this type of love and joy helps you grow and maintain spiritual health and give love more freely to others. So it's like we also talk about mirrors and you know, power is mirroring people and mirroring, you know, relationships, any relationships. We was talking earlier. Um, it mirrors, it gives you a mirror to look from. So in other words, if you like, it's really important because it helps you grow and maintain. You know what I'm saying? I guess I'm stuck on that part. It helps you grow and maintain. You can't grow without that type of love, in my opinion.
So you would say that love itself is one of the elements that help, because everybody's looking for love and a lot of people ain't finding it.
Yeah.
So then we have a lot of souls out there that are what? Empty? What? I mean, come on.
No, they're not empty. I mean, it's just that we okay. Speaking on that, when people search for, they should, for one, you shouldn't search for love, right? You can't search for love. I don't want to get off the topic, but you can't search for love. Love happens when it's supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? Universe, everything, there's no such thing as mistakes or coincidences. Everything happens just how it's supposed to happen. So um, it's important for our spiritual expansion. You know what I'm saying? Our souls, our health, and like I said, it makes you love more freely to other people.
Right, right. Yeah, I can hear that. What
So
would
this
you
was-
add, Tammye? What would you add to that, Dr. Tammye?
Well, the nurturing piece of it, in order for us to truly tap into our authentic selves
Mhm.
and be able to express who we are, it takes us to be able to hear our souls, and then so much so that we are organically giving our souls, feeding our souls what it needs in order to show up authentically on this earth in this lifetime.
Mhm.
So when we talk about, giving it love, some of the things that Taiji said, what does that mean? Well, if we don't know how to nourish our own souls with love and don't know what that means, how then do we expect to be able to give love to others? Which is why we do see a lot of people around here looking outside
Mhm.
for what is inside that will
Yeah,
give you, that's going to truly satisfy your spirit.
and that's
uh,
really true. Go ahead, Taji. Go ahead.
but a
Mhm.
lot of times people are blind to that, so they don't. You always find they say if you find love in the wrong places
Mhm.
because they're not looking inside. Like I said, they're looking on that outside. Most people look at the outside shell. They don't know how to look on the inside and find out they love themselves, because you got to love yourself first, and then you can love other people. Other than that, it won't happen. You know what I'm saying? And I had to learn that too, like I said earlier. So yeah, I get it.
So, so if you don't grow up in a household, right, where
Mhm.
you are taught love, or where you are loved, or where you see love, or where you learn to love yourself, how do you get there? If
That's a
you're
tough.
not, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm
No, because
listening.
that's that's the tricky part, right?
Mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
where is the love, and then people feel there's a guilt trip, like, I do love myself. You ever tell somebody you need to love yourself first?
Oh,
Thing
yeah.
I do love myself, and you can tell they don't love themselves, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that's the defensive remark. But how do you get there if you were not shown or given love as a child? How can we, because that's the basis, let's say that most people are hurting because they did not receive that.
Yeah, that's where it's important. I think, it's important to adopt a spiritual practice, but I don't want to mix that up with religion, because that's not what I'm talking about here.
Right.
I'm talking about walking in nature. I'm talking about um, being present to all of the beauty and all of the miracles that's around us, learning how to be grateful. Like, these are the things, these are the basics that in some cases we're not taught.
Mhm.
We are looking at, how to be the next millionaire, how
Mhm.
to have a house like the master, the back in the day slave owners, and the cars and the women, and we get caught up
Mhm.
in all that. But I think that even the most unaware person taking a moment to just walk outside with no shoes on in nature, will have just that little hint, that little glimpse of there's something bigger than what I see, and it's inside of me. But that's not taught, it's not encouraged. But I believe when it's time, I believe spirit will lead you.
Mhm.
You'll get there
Yes, I can hear that.
some type of way
Mhm.
when it's
You
time.
you'll get there, and it's funny because the universe, we have a power within us. Everyone has it. Most people are tuned in it, other than others, but some are not. So you hear this voice, your conscious or subconscious, which is yin energy, by the way. You know what I'm saying?
Come
Yes,
on.
yes, come on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you hear it, and once you hear it, everything's about thought. Everything. Like everything you do is all about thought. Everything you have because you have the thought about it. So if the thought, if you hold the thought long enough, it eventually manifests itself. That's just the law. That's just how it is. So if a person is like, oh, I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm angry, or this is the type of life they're gonna have. But if they have these thoughts, just need one simple thought of happiness and want to be loved and want to be appreciated, then they'll start attracting that. And I believe that's how a person that has not had that in their household or hasn't grew up with that, it eventually come to pass because it has to. Anything that you think about has to come to pass. That's a law. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I believe, that if you haven't been taught, because I've coached people who've had that. Like a guy, he was from the Audi home. You know, he grew up without his mom, he grew up without his dad, and he thought that. And I asked him, I said, so do you think do you think you're not loved? Do you think no one loves you? He's like, no one cares about me. I said, do you want them to care about you? He said, yeah. And as I talked to him, I put that in his head, talked to him. He came back to me not too long ago and was talking to me about, how we need to hook up. And I love you, brother, and thank you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a thought. If you think it, it has to come to pass. That's only if, and I say that's only if like you haven't had that experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have no idea. And I still, and I love what you said, because I know the reason I'm still here is that there is a God, there is a spirit, there is, because when I look back, there was no love. There were so many missteps. But even in those missteps, that was the universe, that was God directing me, But I remember in the 8th grade being introduced to Edgar Allan Poe. And I was a poet. I love poetry. So when I was introduced to Edgar Allan Poe and I found out that he wrote his best poetry when he was high, I was like, oh, yes. And I always want to I would get an orange. And one of my friends heard somebody was diabetic. We get the syringe and we get the vodka and we squirt the vodka in the orange, with the syringe, and we be in school sucking on our orange. And I was like, this was my genius. Like, yeah.
Wow.
And here's the thing, I was straight A's. I graduated from the 8th grade valedictorian.
Wow.
But there was no family saying, go to school, do this. I signed all my own report cards. I probably started signing those at 5th or 6th grade, So when you said that spirit is going to find you, I do know that's a truth. And that's why the work, what we're doing, what we say, if we could just give people a little bit of light, just a little bit of light, Tammye, Dr. Tammye.
Yeah, you just, again, you guys are triggering things in me. What my thoughts were, I came up in a religious household. So I came up in a household where, there was love. I had both parents in the household, and they were providers, and so I still didn't understand, even though I was taken care of and loved, I still didn't understand what loving myself and nurturing my soul looked like, right? Yep. Because that wasn't modeled in the house, in my household.
Right.
And then, so then at a certain point, when I guess you have your awakening experience, I didn't know where to go, what to do to get more information about this feeling, right? So I started going to church more consistently. And then I still had questions. Yep. And so then it took me to, again, when I got into my 30s, to get sick, because, I was in the church all the time.
Mhm.
And I did not know how to be still and be quiet and how to tap into my soul plan.
Yep.
But it was almost like screaming at a certain point, like, pay attention to me, like, I'm here. Everything you're asking for, the answers are in you. So, although we may have had, families that took care of us and loved us, we still may not have always learned how, even self-love and self-care.
Yeah, and we still have work. I mean, our children have work. Everybody have work. There's still the work, because
Yes,
even if the parents tried to do everything they knew to do,
exactly.
we still have to find our own path.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm still
Mhm.
working. I'm still working because I didn't, I was religious at one time too, but then, I asked her, what made me stop being a Christian, okay? You know what I'm saying? I had to find myself. What made me stop being a Christian was I was searching, and I asked my pastor, I asked her a question, and she told me that I think too much. You know what I'm saying? Just read it. I'm like, that's like that's like telling somebody, asking you what's in the ingredients, you tell them just eat it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
No, I need you got to tell me what I'm looking for. Then I start searching, and like I said, my conscious mind. I speak on conscious and subconscious mind a lot because that's who we are. That's who our spirit is. That's who we are. So I'm learning who I am. So when I start reading, and there's so much information out there, so much information out there. When I start reading and understanding, and that's when I became aware of who I was spiritually. You know what I'm saying? I became aware of spiritually. I became uh, more conscious of who I am. And that's when I was telling you earlier that how I thought I looked mattered.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't really matter, but it's who you are, how you feel on the inside, how your spirit is. You know what I'm saying? And I was nurtured as a kid. I was like it's a sixth child, so I wasn't the youngest. I wasn't the oldest. So I was kind of in the middle between the
How
three.
many
Yeah, it was.
siblings?
Huh?
How many siblings did you have?
It's seven of us.
Okay.
So I was like the sixth child. So
And then
but
one
it
more
was like,
after you.
huh?
And
Yeah,
there
one
was
more after me.
mm-hmm.
One more after me, but he got spoiled. That was a spoiled one. And then the girl before me was my sister. She was the youngest girl, so I was in that middle. So it was like, oh, just Taiji.
Yeah.
You
you
were kind
know,
of invisible, huh, Taiji?
I was invisible. I was a clumsy one. I was the one that didn't do any. I was that one. I was the one that, oh, Taji did it. He did it. I was that one. So naturally I didn't feel like, man. But she loved me. I'm not gonna say she didn't. It's just that I wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was always down on myself. And like I said, I was dark, and why is everybody light skinned and I'm dark? It was that type of thing.
Wow, that's really great. I mean,
But I
great that
grew.
you can see that connection to, yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
grew. I grew a lot. I grew spiritually. I'm so thankful for it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Dr. Tammye, were you getting ready to say something?
No, that was good.
So when you're looking at that and you look at your own children, were you present to nurturing them at the soul and spirit level, or did you kind of do the same thing that your parents did?
I caught myself doing the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to stop myself because every human being's not me. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? My daughter's not me. My son's not me. They are own individual little people. They have their own attitudes, their own acceptance to things that they can't accept. You know what I'm saying? So I had to change it up. You know what I mean? I gave my daughter love, but my son, I felt like I had to make him tough, but then I had to stop that because that's the problem with a lot of men today. We're not taught how to love our emotions. We're not taught how to show our emotions. We taught you got to be tough. You're a man. Stand up. You got to do this. You got to do that. you know, and that's how I was taught. Like, you better not cry. But one time, my mom and my dad was walking by, and I was fighting, and I'm looking for them to help me because this guy was bigger than me, he was beating me up. And it was like, "No, you tough." And they walked to the house. And I'm like, "Where you going?" You know what I'm saying? But they made so that I wouldn't do myself like I like that now. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But I do. It's different now. Now I let him be him. I let him express himself. I let him show he love. I teach my daughter to you know to watch out for snakes. You know, so I don't I was, but now I do it differently now because I caught myself.
What about you, Dr. Tammye?
Yeah, so I found out, I realized recently, talk about having to always do the work,
Yeah.
that my parents were providers. So I was a provider for my daughter. I was not a nurturer to her.
Yeah. Same here.
And I'm like, wow, wow. So because I was in auto mode, you know, I did what
We were
I
corporate. That's
did.
right.
We were corporate,
Yeah.
exactly. So I just need to make sure you go to school, you get good grades, you have clothes to wear, food to. I never sat down with her as a child and just had moments where we had intimate conversations where I poured into her. I didn't know to do that.
Yeah.
But the blessing part is that I get to nurture the souls of my grandbabies.
Yes.
That's where I get to do that.
Yeah.
Now me and my daughter, we got to get there. But in the meantime, my grandbabies, I get to pour into them.
That's
That's
wonderful.
good. That's good.
Taiji, here's a message for you. Taiji, I love what you're saying. I would like to put you in touch with a friend of mine that could benefit from your vibe in coaching. So you might have a client right here. I'll make sure we get that information to you.
Yes.
Okay. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, that's exactly how this works. Because, and especially for our brother Kings, you know what I'm saying? You know, I saw something the other day that said, men that do the work, men that do the inner work are sexy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sexy. I'm like, yes, you know. Can we
Yeah.
more, please, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
You know, Tammye, what you said, we could segue into the next question. Are you a natural nurturer or is it something that you've had to work at?
I've had to work at this and I'm still working. I'm still not at the level of nurturing that I think I should be. So it's still work. It's still work in motion. I was talking to Taiji about this, and my most recent relationship shined light on me just not being a natural nurturer, and not to put myself down about it, but just to recognize,
observe, yeah,
just to observe. So it is something that I am learning, and you know, my dog Anakin that's around here somewhere, he's gonna teach me. He is teaching me, you know, how to nurture. But then also, I get to spend more time nurturing my soul.
Yes.
Giving myself what I need. I can't give to anyone else what I am not able to give to myself. So that's been a beautiful experience going into the winter solstice.
Oh, that's so wonderful. What about you, Taiji? You a natural nurturer as a Cancer? Is that
I'm
more?
a Cancer. I'm a natural nurturer. I can't help it. But you know what? That's a good thing. I love it. I love helping people, but sometimes it can cripple me too because I don't know how to say no. Because I don't know how to say no, it seems like I'm a pushover. So, but I love being a natural nurturer. I love it. I love helping people. I can't help it, you know. But yep, I am a natural nurturer.
But we had that conversation last night about the importance of boundaries. You know, really, you know, especially for empaths and nurturers, I'm a natural nurturer, so I literally almost have to stay by myself. I
Yeah.
really get it. It's like I over give to such an extreme. And it's like, wow, that's really interesting. And it's at an energy level as well as let me do this for you. Or let me, you come to my house, you're gonna get some food, you're gonna get some water, you're gonna get something to eat, you're gonna be nourished, you know what I'm saying? And even when I look at my first marriage, in my house, we had, I had my son, but we also had a cat, a dog, birds, and fish.
Okay.
So that I had to take care of them because my husband worked 12 to 18 hours a day, so this, and I was thinking, what is that about? So I, like you, Tammye, I had to pull back and say, come here.
Yeah.
Take care here. And it's,
Yeah.
it's a full load to work on yourself.
It is.
Oh my.
It is.
Go ahead. Both of you say more about that. Go ahead.
You got to recognize it though. You have to recognize it's a full load. Sometimes you won't recognize it, and that's harmful too.
To not recognize it or to not acknowledge it.
Both. So you gotta okay. Acknowledging comes after, because I didn't. I always speak on things of myself. I didn't acknowledge it till I recognized it. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like saying that you got a problem, but you don't know you got a problem until you admit you got a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't. So I don't know.
Yeah. So you had to say this is what's going on, and then you could do something about it. You could be acknowledged. Right. Okay, look, this is what's going on. So now I need to go and do this, and it's a part of me. Yeah.
But that's the hard part, though. Really figuring out that there's an issue. It may not even be a problem. It's just you just have to maybe adjust it a little bit.
Yes.
Because like I said, being a natural nurturer is great, but when you overdo it, you can overdo it and find yourself put yourself in a bad position. And not that looking for something in return, but no one helps you.
Yeah.
No one want to help you to the extent that you help them. And then, that's okay, because I get my blessings from the universe anyway, but it's just that when you need it sometimes. So it's a lesson learned for me. But like I said, I don't have a problem with nurturing. It's in me, so I can't help it. I just have to, when I recognize it, I have to realize to pull back a little bit, or to know when to nurture and let people go through their problems, because you got to go through it.
Yeah, that's why we actually use that principle in our coaching, no rescuing, because over nurturers could, you don't want to interrupt somebody's lessons because you see them struggling and you say, oh, let me do this. Now they're going to have a bigger struggle because the universe is trying to teach them something. And you don't step in and help them. Guess what? They didn't find that within themselves. You took it from them.
Yep.
You took the responsibility from them. And too often we do that. And then people begin to rely on us. And then we say, I don't want you to need me like that. Right? It's like a vicious cycle.
Right.
It's like a vicious cycle.
So that becomes necessary for us to not, if you just start with no rescuing, it gives you the space to observe. And if that person really does need or want assistance, they can ask for it. And then you get to choose. You see what I'm saying? But it's a different level of responsibility as compared to you stepping in and say, oh, let me do that for you. Right? Dr. Tammye, I see you got a thought in your head right there.
Yeah. So I was, thinking about, my recent journey and what I believe was me learning. My soul wanted to learn how to love unconditionally. That's what I think that part of my journey was about. And my soul withstood so much. I want to call it like almost like a spiritual attack, almost like a, you know, I get negative energy towards me, and then I respond in love, and verbal, emotional abuse, things that cause my soul to almost cripple. I still responded in love. And although I withstood a lot of what was coming for me, because really it was as if evil forces was trying to steal my soul. I mean, really like trying to kill my soul. That's what it felt like.
I've been there.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, just coming for me. Just coming for me.
I think I even said to one of them, just go ahead and kill me.
Yeah, yeah.
Take me out,
And I said,
Enough.
but I, literally said, you may be able to kill my body, but you won't get my soul. And the response was, oh, you don't think I can kill your soul? That was the response.
No, now it's time to do something else.
That was the response. And it was two separate situations, but still coming for my soul. So when it was time, because of when Taiji was talking about the thought, staying focused, regardless, I'm giving love, because love is more powerful than anything. I'm healing. I'm attempting to protect my soul. I'm still, working to give my soul what it needed, but I couldn't give fully because of all of what was happening.
Yeah, so and the need to protect yourself too.
And the need to protect it. So not really being able to, to be vulnerable with myself, because I was in that place that I had to protect it, but still make sure that my actions were in love, because what I put out, I wanted to get back. Right. And doing my mirror work.
That's right. Because if it's showing up here.
Come on. So I wanted to get all that I needed. I wanted to get the lessons.
That's right.
And then when it was time, universe,
it opened up. Yep.
And my soul was like, give me everything. Wow. And it feels so good.
Yeah.
It feels so good. And the soul it repairs itself.
Yeah.
It repairs itself.
He restores my soul. I remember the 23rd Psalm when I was going through those dark patches. The 23rd Psalm was my favorite psalm to just keep in my head. I walk through the valley.
The shadow of death.
I just stayed in that psalm because that was the thing. I gotta be all right. I'm willing to go dark and deep, but I gotta be all right. Taiji, did you ever experience any of those times?
Now, but I gotta keep laughing. I gotta keep moving. It's like after another, it's like things keep happening over and over and over and over and over again. I have no idea why, But then, like I said, it's all about thought, like what you think, So I'm my thought process is like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get through it. It's nothing. Let me get through it until the next thing happens, and then they gotta have to start all over again. So right now, actually, during this time is like it's rough, real rough. Personal experiences going through stuff, but I'm gonna be okay. I don't think I'm gonna go hang myself outside or anything like that. But right now it's a rough time. But like I said, I'm okay.
That really is great, because even people think that because we are coaches and we've been coaching people and we've been studying that things don't happen. It's like, oh no, stuff happens. The difference is that we have tools
to get us through
it. So what are some of the daily tools that you use to nurture yourself, to nurture your soul, your spirit? What do you use to keep you on track?
You know what? Every morning every single morning, right? Um, I meditate, and on my way to work, I listen to Earl Nightingale every day to work. Earl Nightingale, what is the secret? I listen to that every morning, and it keeps me grounded. Not because of what he's saying, but because of like I have to keep telling. I don't have to keep telling myself that you know what I'm somebody and I'm gonna have what I want. I'm gonna have my brewery. I'm gonna have my restaurant. I'm gonna have every day, every day. I do that every day, and when I go to sleep, I listen to a meditation like spirit science, or I listen to like raindrops, thunderstorm. It calms me and it gives me. It puts me in a different place. You know what I mean? And I can start thinking about listening to myself. You know what I mean? I had an experience one time, y'all, and I haven't had it again. But when I say when I found the experience was I found my higher self, right? The moment it's like something you never. It's like I'm talking to me about me
Yeah.
around me,
Yeah.
you know. And I experienced that, and it actually told me what my purpose was.
Yeah.
I couldn't get up and write it down in time, but you know, it told me what my purpose was, and that was the most. And I'm trying to find out again, so I keep meditating to see if I can find my higher self again. You know what I'm saying?
You can. You may be too anxious though.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
sometimes that, you have to relax because it happened it just randomly happened, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I'll
And
send you, I actually have a meditation to connect you. I'll send you that, 'cause
okay, cool.
yeah.
And another thing I do, like I slow down. When you move in a fast pace, so I try to slow down and hear myself think. I listen to relaxation music on a regular basis. So these are the type of things that I do to help nourish my soul, to heal myself.
Mhm.
You know, on a daily basis. I do that every day.
Right. What
Every
about
day.
you, Dr. Tammye? Do you have everyday stuff that you do?
Yes, every day I'm like Taiji. Every day I connect to source.
Mm-hmm.
I connect to source because I want to be very clear about the needs of my soul.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is I have my quiet time where I meditate, meaning I listen to my breath. The first thing God gave us was breath, honoring, listening, to my breathing, my prayer, and just being grateful for everything around me because that helps me to be present to what my soul needs. I have in the background, listening to Taiji, I have the ocean in the background
Mm-hmm.
because it soothes my nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
So the experience that I had, it had affected me to the core of my nervous. I could feel my sympathetic nervous system being off.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that the sound therapy with the ocean, the water,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
it soothes my nervous system, drinking plenty of alkaline water, just flushing my system because I didn't have my machine connected because I was, in trans, I was moving.
Right.
So I had to rely on others. But even though this isn't essential, this is my alkaline water, just so y'all know. I just put it in this bottle. But getting my alkaline water and just flushing, myself and just making affecting my soul, what I was putting in my body,
Mm-hmm.
healing things, and just being attentive of those that I allowed around me and in my circle, the things that I say. I'm detoxing from social media. So for the month of December, so I pulled back because my soul is like, I need your attention.
Yes.
Slowing down.
Yes.
When I find myself, blah, 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 I'm purposeful. Slow down. Be present.
Mm-hmm.
taking walks early in the morning
Mhm.
with my dog, you know, just that yin energy, recognizing and honoring that yin
Mhm.
part of me, the power of yin. And
Mhm.
that's healing. And I have been able to manifest some amazing things.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
Yep.
it's so cool because, you know, for one thing, we went from talking about, you know, unlove into self-love, into, you know, like really taking the time out just to give that energy to ourselves, right? But also we talked about how we can overgive to others, right? The
Mhm.
question that shows up for me, because yin energy tends to be the natural for women, tends to be, right? Why is it that so many women resist the nurturing of their mates? What is that resistance about? Do you have any insight into that?
Mm.
Yeah, I kind of do. I think since women are natural nurturers, they don't know how to receive it. It's hard for them to receive it being nurtured. So because of that, you know, you have a lot of failed relationships. I'm saying because they don't know how to receive it, and it's like it's hard to. It's almost like learned behavior. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard um, to teach that. I'm not a woman, so I wouldn't know,
Mhm.
but I just know that from my experiences, you know, for past relationships and friendships, and you know, they don't know how to receive that because they give it so much. You know, you take care of your husband, you take care of your children, you take care of your best girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? So women don't really know how to receive it from a male, in my experience.
But do they know how to give it to a male?
Some do, some don't.
Mhm.
You know, some are natural nurturers and some don't. They have the yang energy. They full of that and that part. They too much. It's too much male energy in that aspect of that. You know what I mean? It's like a. I'm not gonna say it's an imbalance you got because I found out that nurturing is a yin energy. You know what I'm saying? So I like we were just having a conversation before we got on. That's one of the things we was talking about how it has nothing to do with gender, but the yin and yang energy is male and female. So it's like mixed in. So you might be stronger in that part, in that aspect. That male part might be stronger in you. So you don't know how to receive that love or give it for that fact.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Dr. Tammye,
Yeah.
what would you add to that?
Yeah, I just, you know, if we go back to, you know, slavery time, right? I think that you know, as women, as Black women, we have always had to nurture, provide, you know, or whatever have you. And I think that it's uncomfortable because of the deception that exists back then where the slave masters may have portrayed themselves as caring or, you know, nurturing or whatever have you. And it was deceptive practices where they end up hurting our ancestors. And I think that that may have carried on over the years where we're just not comfortable. Why are you being nice to me? You know,
Mm.
why do you want to take care of me? What do you want? You
Mm-hmm.
know, so there's a root to all of that.
Mm.
Any living being would love to just be nurtured and taken care of and just given and just, you know, just being loved and just anybody would love that. But unfortunately, because of history, we are not, we don't trust it. What do you want? And for good reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So we know ourselves. We know we're authentic as Black women. We are very strong. We love our Black men. We love our children. I mean, we may not be great in nurturing, but we definitely can provide and lift up and support. So that's where we're strong at. That's where we're good at. That's where we're comfortable. You know? And so that's why we're here, learning to do the work so that we can begin to heal and begin to be able to be vulnerable so that we can attract nurturing. Now,
Yeah.
you know, but I think, I don't know which generation this is going to show up at, but the work that we do, this, Taji's shaking his head. He like, not this one. But the work that we do today will hopefully help our future generations.
Because I'm telling you, the hardest, Taji hit it, the hardest thing for me to do, especially in my younger years, was receive. You want to do what? Help me. No, thank you. I got it. I don't care how heavy the load was. I had a suitcase, a baby in the arm, and one on grab the other suitcase. Come on. And somebody, you want me to help you? Nope, I got it.
I got it.
You know, I'm gonna pick this suitcase up with the baby and put it on the bus and train, and it was because, I'm coming from a situation at that time, probably of abuse. So I've already been abused. I don't want to add nothing to it, right? But then, we change our thinking when we realize, okay, I attracted this. So I remember sitting in meditation and looking at my childhood and even saying to myself, I knew I had to release something. And I said, who did I have to be to survive that? Right? So if all of that darkness was there, I became somebody to survive it, but I don't need to be that now because I'm repelling people that I want to be with me. But because I have attracted that that energy, so I remember, like you, Dr. Tammye, taking a sabbatical for life. I did a 30-day ritual releasing the pain and anger about the men in my life, including the father that I don't know or never met, but just really opening up to that yang energy in a positive way and saying to the universe, I open to receive.
Yes.
I open to receive. And when I'm working with men, one of the things that I see with them is that they have a hard time receiving too. And the universe is always pouring into us because the universe is yang energy.
Yes.
Everything on earth is yin energy. We receive. But if you think you got to do it all, including us strong Black women, so we block our receptors.
Yep.
We're not receptive. We don't allow. So, that little small voice, oh, nah, I got it. No, I think I'm going to do this. We're going to do the opposite, until it gets louder and louder, and then you fall and knock your teeth out, I'm trying to
Exactly. No, I know.
Yeah. So that's really great what you guys are saying, because literally the work is always inside of us, just being still and paying attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I believe the difference in this part of the journey versus, 10, 11 years ago is that the tools that I've learned over the years, the experiences,
Yes.
and knowing how to respond in a way that I still will receive good from the universe.
Yes.
And not taking it personal and knowing and understanding that this is an illusion. This isn't real.
Right.
being sensitive to what the universe was saying when it was time to move, make the adjustment. So when I came out, I had, a few weeks that I, unplugged, went to Iowa for about 3 weeks, and my sisters just poured love into me and my dog, and just, we got to sleep, and we got to just pray and meditate, and just, just really take walks and everything that I had mentioned before. Look at the sun, because Iowa actually was nice. Look at the sun, look at the clouds, look at the sky, just feel the wind. I would sit on the front porch and meditate to wind chimes.
Nice.
Like just things that I had never thought to do, even with the sound machine with the ocean and all that, Taiji, that's new for me. Like I had this for my clients, but I never used it for me personally.
It takes you somewhere else, doesn't it?
Yes.
It takes you somewhere else.
Yes.
Literally, you be in a whole other place.
Yeah.
It's almost like you astral project.
Yes.
I was like, what? Again, trying to do for everybody else. And I have this, that, literally my soul was like, you need water. You just need to hear water. You just need to hear water. Going on YouTube, going on some of the Mushu will give us those beats, and I listen to
binaural beats,
healing, those binaural beats, listen to the healing, and just feeling my soul just draw in all of what it needed. I mean, and so when it was time to go back and get a little action, go into my little yang self, because I had to make some moves, everything just pop, fell in place. But the importance of keeping that balance, I think, is what got me through safely, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's beautiful, because you could have went the other direction. And took it to a high level of stress, trying to fix it. I'm gonna fix this. and then that just makes you crash. You just, as compared to maintaining balance.
That was for me to see where I was and where I still needed to do the work. So I don't regret the experience.
Right.
Because I chose that to learn, to see, to develop, to grow. And so then now I'm much more confident in my walk and my purpose and my assignment and my power. And much more comfortable, like what Taiji was talking about, in the skin that I'm in. I'm like, okay, I put on a few pounds. It's okay. It's okay.
Just you look 30 years younger than when I first met you, so them few pounds don't make no difference today.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you.
I mean, like, Dr. Tammye, really? Age pills, you taking, right?
I appreciate it.
I go have water.
The alkaline water. And that bite. That's right.
And that bite. Yep.
That bite. Oh my goodness.
Movement is everything. Movement is everything.
Yin yoga. My restorative yoga on YouTube.
Yeah.
I find that yin restorative yoga, because it's different types of yoga. You don't have to always do the vinyasas and
the hard, the hot. No, right.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's just the slow, steady stretching.
That's right.
Just balancing out, because I am yang. Most of the time. That's what I'm comfortable in.
Well, you're born, this is why we actually do teach what we teach, and it's important to know yourself, because you can't compare. You can't do every woman is like this. Is that no? You're a 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is a male energy. It's the teacher energy. It's the person that has to be authoritative and confident and out there. As a matter of fact, I'm attending a club today.
Yep, yep, that's right. That's right. I remember that.
Like, I went to the club today and I'm like, okay, I'm Tammye today. This is you know,
and that Aries energy on top of it. Yeah.
yeah, and you have your Aries energy, which is another male energy, which means that yin work, that balancing work has to be there. It has to be there. And that's why we have the experiences that we have with relationships to give us the opportunity to what? Soften.
Yes. Because
If we haven't
yang
seen
and
it, that's
yang,
why, oh,
destruction, like you said, destruction. It would have been a lifetime movie.
right, because we think that you're supposed to fight fire with fire. You ain't gonna do me like that. You think this, you think that, you this, and you this. And it's like, you know, there is another energy at play. That when you apply that yin and that soften, it's almost like you can hear what the other person is thinking beyond what they are saying.
Yes.
And, you know, and it gives you an opportunity to speak to that instead of fighting with them.
I could overstand and not take it personal.
Yep.
Because it wasn't my stuff, it was his stuff. I just trust the process.
Yeah.
It works. I don't just
all the time.
this stuff. I tell people I live it. I don't just teach it from a book.
Yes.
Or from experiences of me applying the principles that I learned way back in Master Force Academy, you know? And so I know that they work.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Taiji, what about you on that?
Tammye said, I'm just listening. I didn't, I'm at loss of words with that one.
Yeah,
I really am.
Yeah. But this next question is really potent. You know, a lot of single people are angry that they have to nurture themselves, and it's like they just constantly search for that mate. Where's my mate? Where's my husband? Where's my wife? Where's that person? What do you say to them? How can single people feel content, like right now, you know, within themselves? Both of you have been in and out of relationships, so you know you can look and see for yourself what that is.
You know, one of the things I always say is become the one you want to attract. Become the one. So take a look at where you are. How do you take care of yourself? How do you give to yourself? So do you want someone to give to you like you give to yourself? Because that's what's going to happen. So focus the energies and your thought, again, what Taiji was saying, on what you want and give it to yourself, and you will naturally attract what it is that, you know, that's going to resemble you, that looks like you. But I can say this too, that being in relationships versus, you know, being in a relationship with just myself, that is really very gratifying to give yourself what yourself needs.
It's such a sacred,
good.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Instead of waiting on somebody to give you what you won't give to yourself.
And even thinking that you have to have that, like it's more meaningful if they do it. Oh,
right.
See, I pamper myself when I pamper myself. I would do things that I would act like that person's there, but not really there, not talking to myself. But you know, like Like I would take myself to the movies. I would go have dinner by myself.
Yep.
You know, I would do everything by myself. I think we got the misconception that we need someone. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, like I had to learn that too. You know what I mean? I had to learn that it's okay to do those things by yourself and not feel weird. Because at first it was weird. You know, you go sit in the movie theater and you see couples all huddled up, but you by yourself eating popcorn. It's weird. It's strange. It feels weird.
Yeah.
But it also feels, after a while, it feels good.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
yeah,
You
I'll be like, "Ooh, baby, God bless you."
Courageous. Yes.
yeah, you know?
Right. Yeah. I remember my children. I tell everybody, my children raised me. My children, I gave birth to my mother and my father. I remember we used on the weekends, you know, it was like we gonna do this, we gonna do. And one Friday, you know, I'm like, we get ready to go out to dinner, and my oldest son was like, "Oh, I already have plans." I said, "Plans? Yeah, I'm spending the night so and so, so and so." And then his sister, who's 5 years younger, said, "Oh, I got plans too." I said, "Well, what kind of plan?" "I'm spending the night with so and so, so and so." And then I said, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" And my son said, "Get a life." Oh, I was just like,
What?
okay.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
you know, now he's 10, she's 5, and you telling me to get. I was like, okay, y'all go ahead. And I remember when they left out of the house, and they were in the building. They had
Yeah.
friends in the building. They just went, and I remember sitting there thinking, like, oh shit, I don't know what to do with myself. I
Mhm.
was just like, I have been so wrapped up in this family, I don't even know who myself is. And I
Mhm.
sat there and I said, I got a pencil and the paper, and I made myself write 20 things I love to do by myself. I
Mhm.
made myself come up with 20 things.
Mhm, mhm.
And I mean, I was just like, you know, let me give me a glass of wine because we're going to be here a minute. But I was insistent because I realized I had begun to rely on other people providing my company. You know,
Mhm.
you're right, Taiji. You was like, oh, let me go to the show. Let me go out.
Mhm.
It was weird. Let me go to dinner. Weird. But after a while, it
Yep.
was like looking forward to it. Okay, y'all got plans? Okay.
Right. I'm gonna treat myself to some Olive Garden or something, you know.
Almost. You
And
ain't
I do
got to wait on nobody. You ain't got to
Nope.
pick them up. You ain't got to pay for it. You can leave when you're ready to leave.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
But
I'm-
that's a learned thing, right, Taji? You got to
It is. It's learned. It's like because you're so used to having someone around. So at first, when you don't have them around, it's like, dang, I'm bored out of my mind. You know, TV is getting old. You know what I mean? So now it's time to move. But it is a learned thing. It's learned. It's like I had to learn it, and it took a little while. You know, you be depressed after a while. You're depressed. You ain't got no friends, or your friends busy with their girlfriends or wives, and so now you're like, oh, now, you know. And so I went out and decided to, get no, not like get my feet done. You know, like I
Yeah.
said,
Come on now. You better teach. Come on.
pamper
So you
myself.
go get a pedicure, manicure, you do?
I
Yeah.
do all of that.
Yeah, yeah,
I do all of that.
yeah.
And
Good for
you know what? And a lot of guys think it's weird, it's girly, but man, I see why y'all get y'all feet done.
Yeah.
Yes.
I understand it why, because man, it's a feeling out this world.
That's
You
right.
know?
It's a form of
Mhm,
self-care. As a matter of
mhm.
fact, men who don't do that are missing out. And it's almost like a health requirement.
Mm-hmm.
As you get older, oh, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
you need to have your feet scrubbed.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially when you work all day. You know, you work all day at the end of the week, you got corns and bunions and, go get some
Right.
things some dogs took care of,
Yeah.
Feels good.
You know,
Yeah.
Tammye, earlier you brought up your soul's plan. Your soul's plan. You know, and a lot of us don't realize that our soul has a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you find out what your soul's plan is?
You have to be still and listen.
Mm.
And that takes practice, and we don't listen. We always on the move. Let's go here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. One thing my mom taught me: when you want to hear, you know what I'm saying, from a higher power, be still and listen. And if you can do that long enough, then you'll hear the plan. The problem is once you know it, okay, now you know it. But the problem is now executing the plan to execute the plan. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
know what it is, but we don't know how to execute it. So we wish,
Yeah.
oh man, I wish I had this. I wish I had this. So the first thing to do is once you realize what your sole purpose is, write a list from point 1 to point 10, or how many points you need to do. Write a list. Follow that list. Work your plan your work, and you'll guarantee it come through all the time successful.
Wow. That's
I
great.
love that. I
Yep.
love
Yeah,
that.
Dr. Tammye. That's great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So one of the things that, the Bible says, it talks about before the foundations of this world, God knew us.
Mhm.
And our souls, it's energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. Okay. That's just one of the laws. Okay. And so knowing and understanding all of that and acknowledging that I got to choose based on my soul plan when I was going to enter into this lifetime, that I got to choose my parents. And as children, we're pure before we began to be conditioned. We were in touch with the universe, and we had started, forming ourselves. And then after a certain point, we began to mimic our parents.
Yep.
And so we, at some point, we just, at least with Gen X, the other generations, I cannot say this for, but we just go into auto mode, and this is what my parents said. So this is what I'm going to do. This is what the teacher said. This is what the pastor said. But then when we had that awakening experience, obviously, when spirit starts talking to us and we begin to acknowledge that there is a soul that is a separate entity from our minds, okay? Then at that point, then I think, well, at least in my experience, that I began to pursue truth. And the truth was in me. It was in my soul. And my soul began to then lead me on the journey. Now the more that I begin to pour into it and nurture it and pay attention to it and acknowledge it and exercise my soul, then I got to the place where I said, you know what? I will not participate in anything that grieves my soul. Because my soul has a plan, and I trust the process, that spirit, that source, that the universe speaks to my soul, and my soul will not steer me off course. And so knowing my purpose and my assignment on this earth, which is to be able to, to teach, to give, to love, knowing all of that and walking more confidently while I'm on this earth for this lifetime, because I know, and I've acknowledged, and I am excited about this plan that was established before I even got here.
You were here before you were born, Tammye, and that's what we don't understand, that you were here before you were born. And because you were here before you were born, it's almost like we failed and lost our memory, but everybody has a plan. And it's like you don't know it until you realize. That's what I'm saying. You have to be still and listen. And once you figure it out.
And see, that's the trick, because we grow up in spaces that make us think, first of all, make us doubt ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? So you have this doubt. So even if you hear that voice, you don't think it's that voice.
So on that, I was talking to my father the other day, and he told me something I already knew, but I didn't realize it. He said, you hear like the first voice you hear, boom, it's gone. You hear it and it's gone.
Yeah.
Then you hear another one, the second one,
Mhm.
and you follow that second one and you do wrong all the time.
Every time.
Okay,
Mhm.
so you gotta.
Yeah.
I think we have to learn how to. Once you hear it, you listen, boom, you follow it, and you go.
Right.
That's the hard
That's
part.
it. That's a hard one because we're always second guessing.
Yep.
So let me add to that. That is exactly it. Let me add to that. To
Mhm.
sharpen to sharpen being able to determine what's, our soul versus our mind and all that. The fasting,
Mm.
yeah, you got me, which is so,
Yes.
you have to live a fasted life in order to know the voice of God, in order to be able to truly live out your soul plan. You have to live a fasted life.
Yeah. I agree with
Because
that.
this realm, this matrix is just too many distractions.
Mm.
So when
So many distractions.
it's
Yeah.
so many distractions. So when you live a fasted life, it really sharpens all of, your discernment and your ability to live from your soul plan.
Mhm.
And when you're saying live a fasted life,
Mhm.
I want to emphasize that, we need to fast from anything that we take substance in regularly.
Come
Like
on.
I love coffee. So every now and then I gotta go without coffee.
Yes, that's
I
it.
love wine. So every now and
Yes.
then I gotta go
Yep.
without wine.
Exactly.
You mean to tell me
Yeah.
I gotta go without drinking a beer?
Every now and then. Okay, that's what we mean by fasting life, because
Yeah.
literally it's you
Yeah.
want to clear. I
Yeah.
told somebody, I said, I remember going through a process where I wanted to unaddict myself to food, to eating, period.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I don't have to eat. I want to be
Yes.
the person that eats because that's what I want, not because
Yeah.
food is like, come over here. Come like
Yes.
this,
Yes.
you know
Yes.
what I mean? And I tell people, I say, I don't like to have food on the counter. It has to be put away, has to be about, and then when I
Mhm.
open the refrigerator, I want it to be fruit, something
Mhm.
healthy that I can grab. And if
Yes.
if chips or sweets, I have to go look for it. But I try
Yeah.
not to even bring that in the house.
Yes.
It has to be a special occasion or something, or I'm
Yes.
gonna have company,
Yes.
But I had to train myself to do that.
Yes. Come on.
In the
That's it.
protection of, clarity, energy, and all that, because you can easily just, especially if you live by yourself, you can, snack all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because it becomes something to do. Food can
Yep.
be a form of company.
Come on.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we got to say, no, baby,
Yeah.
you right now,
Yes.
and keep those healthy choices. Like I keep my pistachios, my popcorn,
Yeah.
things that, my kiwi, things that are easier for your body to appreciate.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
That is it.
yeah.
And the thought process is,
Yes.
Taiji, is that, it's like kind of like a sacrifice, right?
Mhm.
Because, whether, we may not realize there's certain things that we do to soothe the physical realm, right? To just make us feel better. But, we have to kind of like cause some type of reaction or whatever that's kind of like shocking to that physical, that kind of like shuts that physical down. We can't go to our go-to for comfort, so that we can tap in and go deeper into what spirit is speaking to us.
Okay.
So that's really kind of the thought process, because, as long as I'm comfortable, I ain't really looking to hear what, spirit got to say, you know what I mean? Because I'm comfortable.
Right.
But then know what season you in, right? So when you're in the valley, that's when you got to shut some things down so you can hear clearly what source is speaking and what to do in this season, because there is a purpose for it. It's not just happening to happen. It's
Right.
something that we have chosen. We have to take responsibility for us to learn in this season. And so it takes sometimes to just shut some things down and just shake it up and do some things different. That's why I came off of Facebook. I've been on Facebook since probably 2009. I don't even remember. This is the first time, which is sad to say, that I've ever pulled off of Facebook.
Wow.
In what, 12 years? That's crazy.
Yeah.
First time. I've been on Facebook probably every day for 12 years. But I needed to do something extreme because
That's right.
the radical, that's it, radical. Because I knew this was going to be a very powerful month for me.
Yeah.
So that's what I pulled out of. That's what so just so that, you know, you have an idea, because fasting can come in different ways, but that's what Spirit led me to do. Come on, stop putting all your energy out there. This month, this energy that you normally are trying to pour into everybody else, you need to pour it into your soul. And I was obedient to that, and and I'm glad I did. I made Musha, so I see you off for 3 months, and I was thinking about that. I said, I may not surface to the spring.
Well, because I was going to say, you remember I used to do that. Sometimes I still do. I take off. I would have people texting me, we really need you on Facebook.
I know. And I'm like, why does Musha Sue do that? She know we need her. She just gonna get off, and we didn't get no word. We didn't get no information.
Doing the whole because I would cancel I would close out my whole account. You couldn't even
shut it down, but now
activate.
I understand.
Now you
understand.
Yeah. But you know, that's the nurturing of the soul, especially when you have a conviction about the mission. When you're getting ready to go to the next level, being able not only just to hear, but you got to be able to live what you're being asked to teach before you teach it. Because you're going to be tested.
That's it.
So I now know that the universe is going to do that with me. So the universe showing me something, okay, now let me see how I can apply this to my life before I start telling somebody else this is what you're supposed to do.
Come on now.
That's one of the biggest mistakes I see coaches, therapists, teachers, leaders. I'm like, how do you live a life that you don't really believe in?
Exactly.
That's it, man.
Talk about it, but
God.
your life doesn't reflect your truth. And so you're telling people to do this and you don't even know if that works.
Come on now. That's the truth.
You don't know if that works. You read a book or somebody told you in the class. And so now you're going to go over here and tell somebody else to do it. But you have to, all of us. It's for me, you know, and when I get that, it's for me. And see, it took me a while to get that my worth is what I'm working on. This work is for me. So, you know, and I tell people all the time, I say, I didn't ask to become a coach. I was doing the work for myself and realized, oh, now we have to find some coaches because I can't do this by myself. It wasn't like I had a master plan, but that is, I'm excited that I get to live a life like that because I don't want to be somebody on a pedestal or somebody that people are like looking up to. You know, it's like that doesn't work because then you become a facade.
That's it.
You know, and the other day that I saw in my life that was so beautiful is that I have the most nurturing and loving women in my circle. that I just sometimes like, wow, like I might not have got nurtured in my childhood, but the women in my life right now and
Mm.
for the last probably 20 years have just been so like, I'm like, wow.
Because you sowed that seed. You know what I'm saying? All the loving and the nurturing that you gave the other people, it was time for you to get it back. It's that's by law. You know what I'm saying? It has to come back. You do good come back to you. You do bad come back to you. You reap what you sow. So because you did that, it all coming back to you now. And sometimes it comes back just when you need it the most.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, I
So
agree.
I have to come back. You know?
Yeah,
That's
I used
good.
to not like that saying because I used to think, if you're doing something, expecting something in return, that
Mm-mm.
doesn't seem authentic, right? But
Mhm.
that's not what you're saying. You're saying
No,
the
I'm
law
saying,
of
The
reciprocity,
law of
there is
reciprocity,
a law
absolutely.
of
yeah,
reciprocity that has
yeah,
nothing to do with your intention. It has to do with what the law is.
right. That's the law.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah,
law of the universe. You can't escape it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you can maneuver the laws of man, but can't escape those laws.
Can't
Oh
You
my
know,
escape.
God.
so you do good. Like the nurturing that comes from you, it has to come from around you. So because you, again, you bring it around you, the thought process and the consistency. So it's going to keep coming around you. You know, and you recognize that when the bad energy, you push that away. I don't want that. Get that away from me. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You recognize that. A lot of people don't recognize that. They steady bring that in. So now
Yeah.
it's like, and they wonder why they got chaos and around their area because you bring it in. That's just how the law works. You
yeah.
know.
I think we bring it in. I think it comes in sometimes too because we keep feeding that seed of desperation that we talked about
Mm.
earlier. Where is that
Mm-hmm.
love? When we have
Yep.
to really sit with our own love, right?
Mm-hmm.
That takes something to learn, that space, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that be still with me. I tell people, I said, I talked to my sister one time. I said, sometimes the most beautiful thing is to be in your own space and get to cry in every room.
Come on now. Come on now.
It don't have to be, hurtful cry. It could be
Mm.
just tears of joy. It could be a memory. It could be but you're in a space where you can just be free. You know what I mean? It's almost like a christening kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
but you get to be vulnerable. I walk in the house and I'd
Yes.
be like, hey, ain't nobody here, but I'd be like, hello, be just so happy to come to that space,
Oh my
and with
God.
the nurturing and the love, and
Yeah.
it's just, I told somebody one of the measures for me is my plants being thriving. If my
Mhm.
plants are dying, there's something inside me that needs to be nurtured.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
And people that say, oh, I don't have a green thumb, I always want to say to them, you want to practice nurturing. So you either get plants or animals. Don't get a baby right away,
Yes.
but get
Thank you.
plants
Don't start there.
or animals because that draws out, they can't take care of themselves. So you don't water the plant, the plant's gonna die. You see the plant dying and you
Yes.
still resist giving it water.
Sunlight.
What is that telling you?
Mhm. That's right.
You see something dying around you and you won't even stop and give it water.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And most people be like, but I don't have a green thumb. They don't have nothing. You don't have to do nothing. Sun, water, it takes care of itself.
Mhm. But there are people that have things dying on them and won't give themselves
Yes,
water.
that's what it
Mm-hmm.
speaks to. That's what it
Yeah.
speaks to. Like if
Mhm.
you won't give that plant water, you're probably not even watering your own soul.
There you go. Come on now.
Mhm.
That's the truth.
Yep. But they do it unconsciously. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Unconsciously. So is it safe to give them that advice, without them getting upset,
Well, it depends on if they're a paying client or.
Oh, yeah, come on now.
I try not to give advice. I tell people, when they want to ask my opinion, I say, no, I don't, people pay me for my opinion, so I don't give it free.
Right.
I say something to you, you want to jump up and slap me, I had a paying client say to me one time, you know what, Moosham Suit, I feel like coming over there and slapping you. I said, I can hear that. But because people don't like what you say sometimes.
Uh-huh.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't offer my opinion freely like that. Because it could be dangerous, Taiji. So this has been a wonderful conversation. Before we close out, do you have any resources or anything that you want to share with people where they can go deeper into this topic, or any other things you want to share, tools or anything that you want them to know about?
I have this collection. It's called I don't know if you see it. It's called the Ancient Secrets of the Flower of Life. It's like many volumes, but it goes into depth about everything about your souls, about the flower of life, about the Vesica Pisces, about it just gets deeper. Huh?
Say the title again.
The Ancient Secrets of the Flower of Life. I mean, it gets so deep about the math of God. It's a really, 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 really deep. But I want to warn you though, if you're not ready for this information, because it's so much information. If you're not ready for this information, then once you start reading it, it's gonna be unfamiliar to you.
Somebody took that book from me. I'm trying to, when you showed it, I was like, who took that book from me? I had that on my shelf.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, that's a
It
good
is amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing. It goes so far, Tammye, so far, and there's so many volumes to it. It even talks about what we was talking about, lucid dreaming and how to do it, and it's a real deep book. So if anybody get a chance, check it out.
Yeah, I gotta get that. Yeah.
It's gonna hook you in because there's so many volumes to it. It's like a teaching book.
Yeah.
So it talks about phi ratio, like I said.
Merkaba. Yeah, I remember.
Yes, Merkaba. Yeah, the
Gosh,
Merkaba.
you're so deep. You're so deep.
Man, it's love it. We love it. Just get it and then call me to get it.
I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, that's one of those books for the master class.
That's what I said.
Yeah, everybody ain't ready for that. They're not ready for that. But once you're ready, your soul tell you you're ready, get it, and oh my God, it's gonna take you to another place.
I'm starting to put Your Soul's Plan in here by Robert Schwartz, because that's always that's one of my favorite books outside of The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Oh yeah.
Tammye, what about you? You have any resources?
Yes. So Deepak Chopra, Reinventing the Body, Resurrecting the Soul, was the very first book that I actually had purchased when I unplugged from the Matrix 12 years ago. Actually, my anniversary is December 26, 12 years ago, when I first unplugged from the Matrix and went on a 25-day juice fast, because I had said to God, I had surrendered, and I said, I need to relearn everything. I need to go back to the beginning, because my life at that time I was just not happy, and I didn't know what else to do. So that book, when I first bought it, I couldn't understand it. I was led to buy it, but when I started reading it, I couldn't understand it. So then as I went through my juice fast and all of that and coaching, then I began to be able to understand some of the concepts. So that is awesome because it shows you the importance of the connection of mind, body, spirit, how it all connects, because we tend to, think of each area separate and it's all connected. So that's one. And then, Lucia, so I don't know if you heard of this book, but it's nourishing my soul right now. So I got to share it.
Yes, I have that book.
Oh my God, you
You are a badass. Yes.
Oh my God.
But I have the one on finances though. Yeah.
It's one on finance. Okay, well, I'm gonna get that one next.
Yeah.
This book is, when I tell you it is nourishing my soul, oh my God, right now, this is where I am.
Yeah.
This is by Jen Sincero. And one more book I want to share. My BFF is a contributor to this book. It's called Ignite Happiness. And it's just little stories and things that I just pick up and I just read certain things of people's experiences of what makes them happy and different things that they do. And it just gives my soul a little lift, So these are the books that I'm suggesting for tonight.
Wonderful. Just listening to that sparked a memory of when I met the owner of the company, Nightingale Conant.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Actually, I had sent in a book idea to him. This was over 30 years ago. I sent in a book idea to him called Let Me See If You Can't Do It. And it had came from my oldest son. When he was 3, he asked me to take a knot out of his shoe. He said, "Mommy, can you take this knot out of my shoe?" I said, "No, I can't take that knot out of your shoe." He said, "Let me see if you can't do it."
See if you can't do it.
I gotta now show him that I can't, but you gonna do it.
Good.
I sent this proposal to Vic Conant, and he brought me in. They were very excited about my writing career, And he opened this room, and there was closet, like with shelves of books. And he said, "Hey, any book in there that you want, go and get." And he brought 2 boxes. He said, "Just any of them, just fill these boxes up, And wouldn't you know, that's when I got introduced to Deepak Chopra. So here's Deepak Chopra's Magical Mind, Magical Body audio cassette.
Wow.
Louise Hay, Heal Your Body.
Oh.
Wayne Dyer. I mean, I was just like, I don't know what to get, but I'm just like putting it in there. But when I listened to Deepak Chopra, that was when I started drinking lemon water every morning. And that's just a natural detox.
It sure is.
It's just, but I tell people, I said, I never did anything with Nightingale Conant because I allowed the relationship that I was in at that time to kind of sabotage. And actually, I can see I sabotaged. I was coaching a client today. I said, you have to be careful when success comes because we will easily sabotage ourselves.
Come on.
Because we come comfortable, in a certain way. And so when it looks uncomfortable, we be like, "Oh, break. Don't break."
Yep.
Just be still. That's when you got to be. And I liked what you said, Tammye, about the valley. So when things are flowing, you go with the flow. But when they go into ebb, go deep into the ebb.
Come on now. Yes.
Don't pedal. If it's ebbing, just go with it.
That's it.
Deal, So So that I love that you brought up Deepak Chopra. I've been following his work for years.
Amazing. Yeah. I had never heard of him. When I was downtown Chicago and I went to, back in the day, Barnes and Noble bookstore on Michigan Avenue. And I knew that I was going to have to unplug from the matrix. But I said, well, what I'm going to do for the winter, let me get books. And I was led to this book.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even understand it. So I don't even know why, Spirit has me buying it, but okay. It was so deep to me because I was just but it took me to detox. I had to detox to be able to understand the book.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's good. And we're saying that so everybody knows, like, that learning curve can be deep and challenging.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Stay in there.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So now it's like, look, I know we could talk all night, but what services? So now as we sign out, let people know the services that you might be offering, if you're taking clients or what that look like, where people can find you. And then, just how can they engage?
Go, Tammye.
So I am actually, you can find me under Tammye Mathews or Restored by Tammye on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. What's the other one? Twitter, LinkedIn. So if you just want basic information about, kind of the company, kind of, what I do, what I believe in, you can follow any of those pages. So my next holistic detox class is going to be January, but it will be coaching only. It won't be an actual, it'll be more one-on-one, I should say. It's not going to be a huge group class like I normally do. So for those who are ready to learn how to detox mind, body, and spirit, they can contact me. They can check out the website, restoredbytammye.com, or again on social media.
You can find me at Tibbs, like I said, Tibbs 555 Brew Pub at Gmail or Taiji Thompson at Gmail. You can email me. The coaches services I give, I do relationship coaching and I do self-healing consciousness coaching. And that just shows you how to, I will show you how to recognize your conscious mind. That's the type of coaching I do. So you can find me on those two websites, or not website, I'm sorry, email. You can email me that Taiji Thompson at Gmail or Tibbs 555 Brew Pub at Gmail.
Wow.
Awesome.
This has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much, both of you, for your time, your energy. If you had one final thing, if you wanted them to have 3 points for them to remember for tonight's conversation, what 3 points would you want them to walk away with tonight?
Learn how to love themselves, right? Look for your yin energy because we don't know how to, some people don't distinguish the two, yin and the yang energy. So recognize your yin energy. And just a final thought that I have for them is what hurts you blesses you. And the darkness is your candle. And what that means is there's no such thing as failure. Everything has a lesson to be learned. You learn your lesson and you get up and you walk, you get up and you go. So there's no such thing as failure. So with your soul being concerned, like follow your soul, try to follow your soul, follow your first mind, if you can recognize it. If you can't, you're saying you fail, like I said, there's no such thing as failure. Get up and do it again and learn a lesson from the first time you learn.
Very cool. Thank you. That was great, Taiji.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'd like to say, develop a spiritual practice. Don't try to be like anybody else. Don't be religious. Just do what it is that you need to do to feel connected to source. That could be going out in nature and taking a walk. And that can be listening to your music as you are sitting in the middle of your living room with candles, whatever that looks like. Be intentional in your spiritual practice. Also, your temple. Honor your temple that houses your soul. Your temple is a reflection of your soul. So treat it as such. And the last is one of my favorites. You know, when I was on Facebook, I have these messy Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta live, laugh, and love. Okay. Because at the end of the day, all of the things that we see that is happening around us, it's just an illusion. So just live, laugh, and love. It don't last always.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just really, and I just can't say enough about being able to say that we do this, we've contributed for 10 years. And I don't know if you guys have ever went back and looked. So there's a YouTube channel. I don't know why there's a fly in here, but anyway, there's a YouTube, there's a YouTube channel called Ignite Your Soul Connection. And yeah, you guys should go back and look at some of your previous videos and listen to them, you know.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would be a great treat for you. And I just want you to know that I appreciate what it takes to do this. You know, you have to deal with me for what, almost like 6 weeks before we get on the screen.
Easy peasy, easy peasy.
I always hope so, you know.
Yes,
And
you
I
do.
can't say enough about how great it is. Here's Shalonda. She's saying, great job, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to recognize my my fellow classmate as we celebrate our 11 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I hope you feel acknowledged and appreciated, and just know that being a Master Force coach is, to me, you are the difference makers. You are the difference makers, you know. And to those of you who have been following us and have been with us this week, thank you. And then we have 2 more nights. So tomorrow it's gonna be Marshawn talking to us about surrender, what it looks like to be on bended knees. And all of us have been there. And what's exciting about that is he's one of our youngest coaches. I think he went through the program when he was maybe 17, 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have him be a part of this.
Love him, love him.
Too. And then on Friday for Christmas Eve, how about that?
Christmas Eve.
Yes, we have Robert Nixon and Ushas, Nin Ushas Ray. They're talking about understand to understand. Yeah, see, these are your people, Tammye.
Yeah, I'm on there. I'll be on there.
And you know, most of us don't realize, you know, every day this week we're talking about yin energy, but we don't realize that we have to cultivate this energy. It's been suppressed, it's been repressed, it's been behind the yang, but it really is our strength.
Yes.
And it's not loud, it's soft. It can be hidden. It's in the dark, it's in the recesses. So for those of you who have been listening with us, you know, all this time, you know, we thank you. Thank you, Claudette. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Sylvia, Deshonda, Shalonda, Claudette. And I think I saw my daughter here, Tia. You know, thank you all so much for being a part of this. And we look forward to seeing you guys on what did I say? Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, Thursday and Friday. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so that's it. So thank you all. Coaches, if you'll stay here, we'll debrief. Everybody else, good night. Thank you.
Good night.
And the replay is on Facebook. Good night, everybody. Oh, Shay Shay could have stayed.
On the Shonda Cole.
We still recording? Okay. Can I run to the bathroom real quick? Yeah, I know I didn't drink this whole bottle of water.
I know.
Because I thought Shalonda was gonna stay.
I gotta go to the bathroom. Woo-hoo!